All right, everyone. Hi, Kate Dixon here. How are you, Ambassador Diamond? So excited about tonight's Zoom. This is super special because we have our top enrollers. So the people on our team that enrolled the most distributors of our entire organization in the month of September are on with me tonight to share more about their journey and just how they did it. I really want you guys to walk away tonight with tips. I feel like that is everything you're looking for. It's mid-month right now. You're wanting to close out October with a bang. I can tell you that every single person that's on with me tonight is someone who enrolled more distributors than steps to success, so more than 3, and that's a big deal. And I just want you to hear a little bit about their journey, kind of where they're at right now with It Works, where they've come from, and we're going to start giving you some really awesome tips. So I'm going to start. Alchemy, you were in the lead here, girl. Where are you at? Unmute yourself.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hey, girl. I'm so excited. Okay, so why don't you just kind of tell everybody who you are, where you're from, how long you've been on board.
Okay, my name's Alchemy Spooner. I am a Ruby, hopefully going Emerald this month. I've been with It Works. This month will be my 4th month. So I'm an Army wife. We started out in Alaska. We got a lot of pay in Alaska, and then we moved to Colorado, and we didn't make as much money at all, like by $1,000 paycheck. So it went down so much, and we just couldn't adjust. So this kept popping up for me a whole bunch of times, and I kept saying, no, I don't want to do this. Like, this isn't my path. And then eventually I was like, all right, well, maybe I'll make like an extra $50 a month, and we'll go from there. So I joined for the $10 a month, and I've made a lot more than $50 a month. So I almost make as much as my husband does, and that's just super exciting. So we're able to do things that we couldn't do before, afford things that we couldn't afford before, and that's just really exciting.
So tell me a little bit about this last month for you, because I know that you are like you're going for Emerald. Ruby's a big deal. I mean, I don't know if everyone realizes, but you had quite a few enrollments last month. I mean, you were rocking it out, and I know they're all going to want to know how, and we're going to get to that. But talk about a little bit about your why right now, and really what's driving you to be successful with It Works.
Okay, so as I said, like we really had like no money when we moved to Colorado. We weren't able to pay our bills. We weren't able to do the things that we could do in Alaska. Like we could go out to eat a couple times a paycheck. We could go shopping and all that kind of stuff. But once we moved here, sorry. Once we moved here, we couldn't do any of that stuff. We wanted our son to go to preschool because he got no like interaction with kids, and we obviously just wanted to learn more and just be super smart and do things with other kids and not just stay in the house all the time. So that was a big thing we wanted to do here. So once we got here, we couldn't do that. But now we are able to afford his private preschool, which is pretty expensive. And he's able to do that 3 times a week, which is awesome. We were able to take him shopping for school clothes, things we couldn't do before. So basically, like my why is my son and my husband, but mainly my son, because we want him to have a childhood where he can do things and go places and have things to remember versus just staying in the house all the time and having like a broke family. Like we didn't want that for him. And then my husband, he works his butt off every day. He's hardly here because he works all the time in the Army, and don't want to get emotional. We really want him to get out of the Army because we see him maybe like one weekend a month. If you guys follow me on Facebook, you would know that. Like I literally see him maybe like one weekend a month, maybe 2. So it's super hard on me, super hard on my son. So we really want him to get out. Sorry. He's deploying in April, so after that we don't want him to stay in at all. So my goal is to try and get diamond within the 6 months so I can get the $5,000 bonus, which would help so much. Hopefully go further from there so that by the time his reenlistment window opens, he doesn't have to reenlist and we can just all be together and be a normal family.
Wow. And you're coming to conference, right?
Hopefully, yeah.
You have to be there.
I know, I'm trying.
Talk about like whole nother level of just mindset and just where you'll go from where you're at now and after that. So we'll talk about that more tonight too. So I'll come back to you. Okay. I want to get everyone's stories. Okay. So Katie, you're next. Katie Bevington. Hey girl. Oh my gosh. You've got to be so proud of your team and just all of just everything that's happening in your business right now. I know you're rocking it. Also top enroller. Just kind of tell everybody, I know you've been on many Zooms at this point, but for those of you that don't know who you are, we want to hear a little bit about your story.
Yeah, so my name's Katie. I've been with the company about 2.5 years now. I actually got started because I had my daughter super young. I was 18 when I got pregnant. I had her when I was 18. And it was really rough for me and Zach. And basically I was doing everything that you were taught to do. Go to school, find something that you can do for the rest of your life until you can retire. So I was in school for nursing, even though that's not what I wanted to do. It was awful. I hated it. And I would cry all the time because I was basically in school. It was kind of like a job. And luckily my mom was there to help with my daughter, but we were so broke. And at that point, Zach wasn't making enough money. And we were, he's looking at me and I'm like, no way, I'm not getting a job. And I was praying and praying and praying. And, this kept coming up on my Facebook. And I was like, no way, no way. And the girl who enrolled me, she just kept asking and asking and asking and asking. And I finally was like, you know what, like, whatever, like this has got to be it. Like if this is what keeps coming up, I keep praying about it and it just kept coming up and coming up. So I said yes. And within the first few months, I really started for like $300 a month. We really didn't have any extra money to afford like an extra loaf of bread every week. Like we were dirt poor and it sucked really bad. And, within our first few months, I was able to bring in the $300 a month, and I went Ruby my 4th month in. Emerald my I think it was my 5th, and then I went diamond at 10 and double diamond at 11 months, and then triple diamond right before I was in for 2 years.
Wow. And you and your husband collectively too have made quite a bit of bonuses. So how much total have you made in bonuses since you've joined?
We've made about $165,000 in good bonuses so far, and he's retired now, so he's actually in the other room hanging out with Cammy right now, which is so cool to me.
It is so cool. And I love watching you guys. I mean, you just keep dreaming bigger and bigger and bigger, and your why is so strong. And as you know, I was listening to Alchemy and I'm like, wow, that why is going to evolve even more. It's going to go bigger than it is right now. And it's just going to be so much fun to watch. And I know yours has too. So how has it evolved for you? And what is your driving force today to keep going, keep building, and promote to presidential and ambassador and beyond?
Well, it's funny because when I first started, it was like $300 a month. That was the golden ticket for us. And and I never really, truly, if I'm being honest, I never thought that I could do that. Like when I started, the belief didn't even happen until I enrolled my first customer that wasn't a family member. And that when I did that, I was like, okay, like baby steps. What if I can do that? I can enroll another customer that I don't know, and then kind of take that, moving forward. And every time that I, would hit a goal, I always make goals. I make monthly goals because if I don't make a monthly goal, I find myself slacking. I find myself not pushing as hard or, doing as much as I could do. So I started making monthly goals. And it's funny, my mom just came over to my house last week and she looked at my dream board and everything's crossed off. And she's like, wow, she's like, you've already done all this. I was like, I know. And I just added more that I didn't even put on the wall. I have it at my desk. And, pretty much as I go along, I dream a lot bigger than I ever knew that was possible. So at this point, I can tell you me and Zach are going debt free in 2018, including our house. So pretty much for me, step by step by step, I got to the point where his car's going to be paid off in probably like 2 more months. And at that point, we have no debt besides the house. So we're going to pay that off next year.
That is so amazing. Oh my gosh. And you're 22.
Just turned 22.
Throw that in there because I think that is so impressive that you've got that mindset and you've got that vision. And I mean, the world is just, you've got it in the palm of your hands. It is so exciting for you. So, and we'll come back to you as well. I want to keep going. Okay, Jody, we've got Jody and Stan on. Hi, guys.
Hey, hey, hey.
Are you together or are you in the same?
We're in different rooms.
Okay. Stan's on too. Okay. Jody, talk a little bit about your story, how you guys got started and your journey. I know it's been years and we'll have to condense it, but tell us the highlight.
We've been in for 7.5 years. We had a holistic wellness center in Virginia. Stan saw the wrap online and thought we should order it and try it. And I thought it was hokey. And I said, if you want to waste your money, go ahead. And so he did. And they worked. And so then I had to figure out why it worked. And because I've got that analytical brain. And when he found out that we had a super green food product because we had taken one for 17 years prior, he was all in. And I don't know that we thought it could take us where we live now, being presidential and living at Myrtle Beach, but we went all in.
You guys have something really special coming up this weekend too. I am just so excited for you. You guys are in a competition this weekend.
Yeah, I'll let Stan tell about that.
I can't wait. Stan, how are you?
I'm doing awesome. I'm 59 years young. I'm reverse aging.
Oh, Stan, how has this journey just totally changed y'all's lives?
Well, we were basically living in Martinsville, Virginia, not far from you and Pam in Roanoke. And as Jody said, we were running an alternative healthcare practice, and we were taking care of my parents. My dad had just passed away, and then my mom was, we didn't know. We thought she had dementia or Alzheimer's. She ended up having a brain tumor. And we were taking care of her about the time that we found It Works Global. And we were running our center, doing a lot of weight loss because that's where we were making most of our money. We found the wrap. And basically when we introduced it into our center, we knew we had about a 2-year business plan. We knew it was an economically depressed area. So, we figured we'll give it 2 years. We'll take care of my parents. If it don't work out, fine, we'll just move on. So after a year, we found the wrap. We found the products, went and heard Dr. Don talk, got to sit and talk with him about all the products. And I was sold and took it back to our center. And the very first full month that we were in the business, we signed up in end of March, almost 8 years ago. And within the first month, I think we sold like 150 wraps the first month. Mm-hmm. And I was ordering a spa pack to a spa pack and a half every month when we first introduced the wrap. And we basically, what I always tell people, it saved our business. And then after, 2 years, Jody, 3, it retired our business because we were making as much money. We basically were full time with It Works from day one because we introduced it to the center. And first full month in the business, we made over $3,000 in bonuses and, commissions and retail profit. So we were pulling a profit there, but then it just got to the point where we were making more money with the business. Why go to work every day and work? When we first opened up the business, I was working 6 days a week and working, 80 hours a week. And by the time we were close to retiring the business, we were working 4 days a week, and we eventually just said, well, look, we can do what we're doing at home and not have to go to work every day. So we ran it, went from double, went to triple. When we went triple, we decided to basically move to North Myrtle Beach and semi-retire on the coast. And it's been awesome.
It's just, I love watching you guys because I see the fun, and you get your family comes in to visit, you've got your grandkids. It's just this epic adventure that it's turned into, and it's so exciting to
It
witness.
is. The competition thing just came about, and we can talk a little bit about this because I think it was last conference when the Black Diamonds were speaking. One of the things that really resonated with me was the fact that they were basically encouraging us to find yourself and build the business according to your personality, your style, and what works best for you, and not necessarily trying to do what somebody else did. And so last year I decided, by the time I'm 59, I'll be 60 in March, which is our 8-year anniversary. I said, I'm going to be in the best shape of my life. So I hired a personal trainer. I know how to train. I train people. I know what to do, but sometimes you just need a mentor, somebody to be accountable to. So I decided to become a product of the product. And some of y'all have seen my before and after picture that was approved by the company. I mean, I was using all the products, working out, exercising, because I wanted to become a product of the product and promote the health that I always, was fervent about for so many years. And so as we got into this thing and we were tweaking the diet, we got into a competition diet, and then the next thing you know, our coach is saying, well, you need to just go ahead and compete. So we're going to, this Saturday, for I guess at age 59, we're going to hit the stage as registered bodybuilders and bikini bodybuilders at age 59. So what the hell,
Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Why think that and that's the thing we love about it. It works. I always tell people we love it. Works because I love it because it's mostly women in the business. I love that because I'd rather be around a bunch of pretty girls than a bunch of grumpy old men. Executives, but it keeps us young too, because all of our friends are act like they're getting ready to go to the geriatric society and getting their AARP cards and going to bed at 8 o'clock at night and just hoping getting their Vaseline and hemorrhoid medication ready for retirement, and we feel like we're just getting started.
Yeah.
At age 59 with the business, we've got so much more to do, so much more to accomplish. I just felt like I'm looking at it as the second half of my life rather than, the end of my life. And that's a huge difference. And that's what the business can do for people. And that's my passion, because my mantra from the very beginning is to be happy, to be healthy, wealthy, happy, and free, and to help others to do likewise, to be healthy, wealthy, happy, and free. That's what it's all about for me.
Well, and it's an evolution, isn't it? I mean, you guys are going into your 8th year, so you've progressed in so many ways. You've accomplished so many things. Here you are going into your 8th year and accomplishing something else that's massive for yourself. And I feel like, we're in the business of network marketing here. Let's look at it for what it is. And there's also some brilliance behind, reaching out, either joining a club, or for me, joining new moms groups, or for you, stepping out of your comfort zone and going all out and doing something for yourselves that, fulfill you up in so many ways, but also allow you to connect and make new friends all over the country because of your inspiration. And I can only imagine, you're on this Zoom tonight as top enrollers, that everything you're doing is benefiting your business as well.
Yeah, and Jody's going to talk a little bit about a lot of the way that we've gotten our new distributors, was basically through loyal customers, people that we've known for years, people that we have stayed in touch with. We keep posting. People look at our pictures now and they go, gosh, what are you doing? You look so good. You look younger. You look better. And they look at me and Jody at age 59. And we say, hey, we got the secret sauce. As Mark says, we've got the secret sauce. Do you want to taste some of this? Do you want to partake of this? And that's one of the keys to this business. When you become a product of the product, not a product, the lifestyle, as the all the things that we do appeal to people, because people today, are bored, they're bitter, they're tired, they're sick and tired of being sick and tired, they're tired of being broke and dead end jobs and being getting old, fat, and ugly, and we've got a company that can revitalize, rejuvenate, and give people new hopes, new desires, new dreams, recap their life, and begin fresh and new with their health, their wealth, their prosperity, and everything that we do. So we've got something we can offer them, the whole package.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally, completely agree with you on that. And let's come full circle, because I want to hear those tips from Jody. I know that we're looking forward to that. Yeah. Keisha, are you on? I know you're there. Unmute yourself, girl. Hold on. I'll unmute you. Don't move.
Does that unmute me?
I muted you. Unmuted you.
Oh, okay. I'm like, did that work?
Hello, Rockstar.
Hi.
All right, you know the drill. Why don't you just tell everybody who you are, how long you've been on board, how you got started, and where you're at this point in your career.
Yeah, definitely. So for those of you who do not know me, I am Keisha Cook, and I have been with It Works now for almost 3 years. I cannot believe it's been almost 3 years. Wow. I did nothing the whole first year. It was probably the biggest mistake of my business. I just wasn't sure, like I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't know, I didn't even, I didn't even know I had joined a network marketing company. Like, that's how much I didn't know. Okay. Like, I was just like, oh, raps? Yeah, I want to rap. Like, and I wanted to continue to rap, and I didn't want to have to pay for them. And so my lady was like, well, you should join me and make money so that you can afford it. And I was like, yeah, I didn't know what I was signing up for. And she got sick, and she kind of stopped doing this. And so I was just selling single wraps here and single wraps there. And I was okay with that, because when I signed up, I was going through a divorce, and I just wanted some extra money for groceries that I wanted, honestly. And I was like, $50, $100, whatever, and I was super excited to like just have that extra money just from selling the wraps and signing up a customer here and there. And so like I did that for a whole year. If anyone is listening and you guys have just started, please don't do that. Like, I cannot stress how much you should not sit on this business, even though I did for a whole year. It is one of my, one thing that I wish that I had never done, because once I started just getting involved, like, and when I mean getting involved, I mean paying attention to our team page and watching people's YouTubes and joining Zooms like this. I was like, what? Like, you make $500? Like, wait a minute. Clearly this business went over my head, and so I just wasn't, I guess I just really didn't know. And I don't know well, I guess that's what it was. Just hearing those things and seeing those things. I was like, oh, well, I can do this. Like, right? Why not? And so I just jumped in. And when I mean jumped in, I just started posting. And I didn't just post anything. Like, I literally took the time to look at some of the people that I was following post. And I was like, oh, they explain that good. And I kind of did the same thing, not verbatim, but I implemented that into my post, and I just kind of started doing that, and I did it consistently. And as I started doing that, I think I did like a month of that consistently. And I started having people reach out to me, and they're like, oh, I mean, like, I know you signed up for this, but I didn't think you were serious. And I'm like, oh, so that's why you never reached out to me, And so And I started reaching out too, because you can't just post. I started reaching out to people, and as they started seeing that I was serious and that I guess I caught the vision, you know what I mean? And I was just like, I'm going for it. And from then on, I just been kind of implementing things as far as posting daily about the business, posting about what the bonuses have done for my family. You guys, like I said, I just wanted groceries at first. Now I'm at a point where I'm able to only work part-time at my job. That is my why. My why is to be a full-time at-home mom like I was before I got divorced. I like being home. I do not like being in an office 10 hours a day. And so that really is my why. Like, that really is what I want to do. That's my goal, is to be able to supplement all of my income, be home with my children full time. And after that, to start making a profit that I'm able to not only be at home full time, but to have extra money. That is my why, but I think that just the way that these products make my customers feel, including myself, like, you guys, I'm down almost 30 pounds since I've just been implementing this plant-based products. And, you know, I still have like 10 more that I want to go, but just to know that I've always struggled with my weight, like literally my whole life, and to have something that actually helps me, and then to have it help my friends, and then new friends that I'm meeting, and it's just like, I'm in love, you know what I mean? And so every day I'm talking to someone new. Literally every day I'm meeting a new friend, even if it's online. And people like, oh, how do you meet people online? Like, I reach out to people, and you guys, I'm super shy. Like, I literally, and don't let you be local, because if you're local, like, I'm asking you on a date, like, let's go grab coffee. Like, do you like wine? Like, let's go grab a glass of wine. Like, seriously. And so I'm that's what I'm doing. And I'm literally doing it on a daily basis. So I'm posting and I'm reaching out to people and I'm sharing my story. And I'm meeting new friends, and I'm just trying to have fun in the process, you know, and sometimes, you know, it does get a little stressful. But one thing that I've noticed, that like, if it's getting stressful, it's because I'm taking the fun out of it. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, this is what I have to do, and I need to do it by here, and I need to do that. And it's just like, calm down, come back, you know what I mean? And remember why you are doing this. And as I do that, it starts to come. It starts to come. I mean, you guys, literally, when you sign up for something for $50 to $100 a month, and you have made well over that, and you have won bonuses after bonuses, and you've ranked. And the best part is when you meet other people who want it just as bad as you, and they start working, and they're making bonuses, and they're changing lives, and it just gets more and more fun as you continue to go. So that's where I am right now. That's what I'm doing. I'm just meeting new friends. I'm using the product, and I'm sharing the product with any and everybody I know. And I'm also blocking out the negativity, because I feel like that since I have started this business, there are people who can be a little negative towards the network marketing industry. And mind you, I didn't know I was joining a network marketing industry, but now that I'm here, I'm like, oh, what's so bad? Like, I love it, you know? So that's what I'm doing, you guys. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm just reaching out, and I'm enjoying my business. I'm meeting new people, and I'm feeding into my new business partners, and we're just trying to have as much fun, make as much money, and share it with as many people as possible.
When you're meeting with people, you know, I just had this conversation. I went to actually went to a party, and I said, you know, for those people that didn't come, you know, there were quite a few that didn't come that were invited, and that's the process. Sometimes the process. Sometimes you go into a room and it's packed full of people, and sometimes you go to a party and people didn't show up. No big deal. But my whole thing in this business has always been take it to the next step, follow up with a coffee shop or a glass of wine or a lunch out or something that can help build that relationship to that next step, because some people just can't come, or they just need that consistency from you. So when you're sitting down with someone, I mean, paint that picture of what that's like. That's casual conversation. That's you getting to know them. That's seeing where the conversation may lead. Potentially, obviously, will lead to a distributorship, like you're a top enroller. But what's your goal there? How does that play out for you? Because I feel like, Keisha, a lot of people are afraid of that, and there's so much of what we do has to be wrapped around us making those one-on-one connections. I mean, that's what works, in my opinion. That's what works in this business.
Yeah, absolutely. So, example. There's this one girl online. I'm not sure. I'm sure I probably added her because she was a friend of a friend. Super adorable girl, right? So I remember one day I'm just like commenting on her post. I'm like, "You are so pretty," right? Because she is, and she's like, "Oh, thank you." That sparked a conversation right there, and she also happens to have two cute little girls. Like, I have two cute kids, and so we just started talking about kids, and next thing you know, a month passed and it was her birthday, and I just hit her up and I was like, "Oh my God, happy birthday. I hope you have an amazing night. Matter of fact, what are you doing?" And she's like, "Oh my God, we're going on a harbor boat cruise. You should come." And I was like, sure, like, why not? Like, okay, like, I don't know you or your friends, but I'll come. And this was over a year and a half ago. This girl is now my DT. She did not sign up as a DT right away. But the crazy part is, like, I went to her birthday party. We had an amazing time. We've been going to each other's kids' birthday parties since then. She happens to only live 20 minutes away from me. We went to Vegas together. You know what I mean? There was a one team, one mission in Vegas. And so I drove out to Vegas for it, and she went with me. She wasn't a customer. She wasn't a DT, nothing. She was just like, "Do you want someone to ride with you?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she came. She started off as a customer a couple of months after that. And then she ended up becoming a DT, which she is now. And all because I said, "You're beautiful." You know what I mean? Like, and I meant it genuinely because she's super adorable. But even then, I always tell myself, like, even if they don't become a customer, like, even if they don't become a DT, I'm not sure. Maybe she knows someone who knows someone who knows someone else. You know what I mean? And so when you reach out to people and you're just genuine to people and you're nice to people, you'll find out that even if they're not interested, that they know someone else who is. And I mean, I've done that so many times. I reached out to this gentleman one month and we're talking, and he's like, "Hey, is there any way that I can help you?" And I was like, "Yeah, tell all your friends." And that month alone, he signed 10 LCs for me. Just by telling his friends. I had never met this guy in person. Okay, like, he ended up giving me 10 LCs, and so I mean, that was bonuses and all type of other things, that helped my team. And so I have just really noticed that even if you feel like you don't want to reach out, do it. I have noticed that when there's something I don't want to do, or when I'm super shy to do it, that when I do it, there's a good outcome. And that's another thing with going live. I hated going live, and now I just go live, even if it's just like, "Hey guys," because I feel like that lets people know who I am, people who don't know me, and they're like, "This girl posts about this and talks about this, but who is she?" And so I go live and I just introduce myself, and I just do it, you guys, even if I feel like I don't want to do it, or even if I feel like, well, what if she doesn't like me, or what if he tells me no? Regardless of what it is, I've learned that some people say no and a lot of people say yes.
Yeah. You know, something that we talk about in our, I'm in MOPS. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but some of you will and some of you won't. And that's Mom of Preschoolers. Okay. Well, I was introduced to MOPS through my mom's blog community. And I was like, what is this thing I'm joining? And I show up and it's like there's these games and we have to get to know each other and there's all these other moms. And I was like, I think I could be working right now. I feel like there were just like all these emotions and thoughts running in my head. And then I realized I was invited for a reason. Like, I gotta go. And one of our sessions that we had, one of our group sessions that we had, we talked about, you know, the kind of awkward conversation when you're a new mom and you're like kind of in this new stage and you're kind of desperate for new friends and you want your kids to have friends to have, you know, play dates with and go to birthday parties and you're kind of like doing it for your kids, but you're also doing it for your own sanity and all this stuff. So I'm in this new town and I've got to meet new people. I can't just hang around with my It Works family, you know. I've got to like expand myself and meet new people. So it's so funny, Keisha, because with one of these classes, they said it's like that awkward moment when you're like, almost you feel like you're asking another mom on a date, you know,
right.
like dating each other. And you're like, hey, you know, you have really, you know, your hair is so cute. I love, you know, who's your stylist? Or you're like, that's such a cute outfit. Or I love what you said today at MOPS. And you're just trying to like say anything to make a connection, but you're being genuine, but it's awkward. And I thought, this is so our industry. You know, there's that moment where you just want to meet someone. You may be like, wow, you know, I just think they're really cool. And I love the way that they responded to that situation, or I love the way that they're dressed today, or it could be anything, but you want to compliment them. And you're obviously learning power behind that. And that's something that I've learned through MOPS, which has just been a huge thing for me. That, you know, just that awkward moment. And we talk about taking those 5 seconds of courage just to like introduce yourself, just to say, hey. And then I realized that other moms are starting to do it to me now, where they're going, hey, we should get together, or we should have lunch, or we should totally be friends. You're really cool. And I'm doing the same thing to them. And it's so powerful, isn't it?
It really is. And someone posted and said, I don't like to go live because my family laughs at me. I didn't catch the name of that, but whoever that was, let them laugh. Yeah. You know, laugh with them. You know, say something funny, but don't let it stop you from going live. Honestly, I've noticed a big difference. You know, somebody had posted something on our page, and it said go live for 30 days, and I think it was Shannon, and she had something that we were supposed to talk about for 30 days. And so I was like, you know what, I'm going to take on the challenge. And I didn't do the whole 30 days, and I was just kind of sporadic with it because of my schedule and everything, but I did more. And I even had someone inbox me and was like, I see you're going live more, and that's so awesome. Like, I'm so glad that I've gotten to know you even more. You know what I mean? And so that alone just let me know people are watching. They really are. Like, you already know they're watching, you know, but when you have people come to you and they're cheering you on and they're like, do that more, you know, you're like, okay, well, if one person is saying that, there's probably other people that's thinking that just haven't said anything. So go live, you know, even if it's doing your makeup, go live, you know, or whatever it is about that you're doing. Sometimes I go live and I'm cooking, you know, and I'll throw in making greens at the same time, you know, and they're like, what is that you're making? And I'm like, oh, you know, and it's a great way to gain customers that want to buy from you, but they're just not sure. You know, they don't know who you are. They've seen you on Facebook, and they're just like, it's like a connection.
I love it. I love it so much. I think you've inspired so many people so far in this whole Zoom. I appreciate you sharing so many awesome tips. I don't know if you guys are seeing this, but I have a whole page full of notes. I absolutely love it. I'm going to go through because I want to give everyone a chance. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I can't wait. Okay. So I'm going to hear from Alchemy again. Alchemy, I'm going to full circle back to you. If you could unmute yourself. I think you already did.
Yeah.
I want you to share a big tip. You know, you're a top enroller. You were leading in this whole pack last month. What do you feel like you want everyone to know? What does everyone need to know here in order to really take their business to the next level?
Okay. So I wrote down a couple things because there's a couple things that I always tell my team. The number one thing that I always say is to share the products, don't sell them. I feel like there's a big difference between the two. Like you could compare my post to some other people's posts. Like I share that I'm using them and share that my customers are using them and they're having good results versus just constantly trying to like push selling on them, if that makes sense. I feel like it's just so much more attractive to do that. And then the three things that I always say is stay consistent, stay positive, and stay excited. Because staying consistent, when people see that you're posting about it all the time and you're constantly going live about it and just like raving over these products and what you do, it's so attractive to people versus posting about it like once a week or twice a week, stuff like that. When people see that you're so serious about it, they're more likely to be more curious about it. And then staying positive. So a lot of people, like including my team as well, everyone has like a bad day or a bad week or a bad month. Like I am guilty. My first month, I was super down, but I was only in for like 6 days. And I was like, dang, I only made that much money. And I got in a funk for the first week of the next month, which was terrible because I didn't sell anything for that first week, which was bad for my business because I didn't do anything. So if you're not staying positive and seeing that, like, oh, I didn't make as much as I wanted to, you need to use those things to make you go further. So if you didn't make as much as you wanted, you need to figure out why you didn't make as much as you wanted so that you can keep going and go higher and just make as much as you want to join this business for. Staying excited. Okay, so my posts are always super excited because I am excited about this business. I'm excited about what it does for me, what it does for my family, how far I've gone in it because like a lot of people have said, I did not think I was going to be making like over thousands of dollars in a month, like including bonuses in my paycheck. Like I did not think this company would do that for me. Yeah. So I stay excited because there's also like a big difference if you're posting between being excited and not being excited. People are more likely to buy from the person or to join with the person who's excited for this business and excited for what they do and like all the things that the business does for us, like this company as a whole does so much for us. So I sound excited about that. Like every little thing that the company puts out there, I post about it because anything that makes me excited, I try to make my audience excited about it. So it's kind of like a turn on for them.
Amazing. I wanna just kudos you because I follow you on Facebook and I do get all of that. I do get the consistency. I do get the positivity. I see it all, and you radiate your passion for this. And one thing that I would love to hear from you as far as, kind of even taking it a step further is being a top enroller. One of the questions that came up on our team page is just kind of one thing you could do outside of just posting and being consistent and being positive, a business building activity that has helped you enrolling. What would you say that is?
Trying to think. It kind of does go with posting kind of, but we do so many more things that we couldn't do before. And literally I take pictures of everything, like everything that we do. I take pictures. Like we literally took my son to McDonald's today. I took a picture of him, and I said how we couldn't afford to go there before the business. Like just little things, like literally I take pictures of everything and I post it because everything that we do is based on this business. And I feel like taking pictures is like a huge business builder because if you're just constantly posting pictures of just like the product in your hand or like something off Pinterest, like that's not really attractive to people. But if people see that like you're a real person doing real things with this business and making real money, doing real things with the money that you're making, I feel like that's a big thing. And literally you're just taking pictures of things that you do throughout your day.
I know you build primarily on social media. I mean, that is like a huge avenue for you. So you're also paying attention to the people that are liking your posts and commenting on them, and you're really, focused on that. Is that a place of follow-up for you? Or are you paying attention to, who's liking your posts and sending them, messages, or what? Do you feel like more people are just flocking to you because you're attracting them through your posts, or what would you say about that? I think people get confused on the action steps to take when you've got such an attractive, profile, whether it be it on Instagram or Facebook. What would you say your follow-up is?
Sorry.
Okay, I know it's just the background.
What was your question? Sorry, it like cut off because
What
of
do
that.
you feel like your follow-up is, as far as, you're paying attention to who's liking your posts, who's commenting on them? Are you sending messages? I think people get confused or want to know how the process of that goes.
Okay, so when I follow up, I pay attention to who's liking my posts. A lot of people, now that I have built my profile more, it's been a long time coming, because if I go back to my old posts, they were horrible. But now that I've learned how to do that in the correct way, like in an attractive way, people do come to me now. But I still do have like all new people who do still just like my post, which is so weird that people like it and they're interested and they don't say anything to you. I just think it's so crazy.
Okay.
But yeah, a lot of people, if they like my post, I'll wait just a little bit so I don't sound like a stalker, like I was stalking my Facebook. But I'll wait a couple minutes and then I'll message them and just say, hey girl, I saw you're interested in my post on the hair, skin, and nails. We're interested in trying it for 40% off, or were you just being sweet? This way, like, I don't get ignored, and even if they aren't interested, like, I'm still being super sweet to them, and maybe they could still be a potential. I do the same thing on Instagram, and like I do message people too who do like my stuff a lot and aren't interested. Like, I still build connections with them. If they said like, oh no, I'm not interested in it, I was just giving you some love, like I'll still message them and say, like I'll ask them about things on their profile, like if they have a kid, I'll try to connect with them with that. And then more than like 75% of the time, they end up coming to me for something like, hey, I know you sell It Works and we've been talking for a month or two. I really want to try blah, blah, blah. Like, I just feel like paying attention to your likes and people who are attracted to your page is just super important, and building connections with them so they don't think that you're just trying to make money off of them.
So the question came in on the chat. I don't know if you're seeing the chat. Do you use more Facebook? But then you said that you also use Instagram. Do you message everyone, in all caps, emphasized everyone who likes a post on Instagram? I
do. I message everyone, because like sometimes I'll even see someone and I'll be like, I don't really think they'd be interested. And I'll click out of it and I'm like, oh, that could be like my one potential. Or it could be my one loyal customer to get me my extra point to get my bonus. Like, I really do message everyone, because you really never know who's interested and who's not. And like I said, I always end my sentence in like a sweet way so that if they aren't interested, they can't get like annoyed or anything like that. But at least I made a new friend trying to connect with them.
Andy says, I'm always afraid people will think I'm complimenting them because I'm selling. So she's saying that making a new, she's reaching out, trying to make a new friend and complimenting them, but she's afraid of the thought process in that.
So with that, if you're just reaching out to someone, trying to like legitimately just like connect with them for a while. Don't just have one conversation with them and then say, oh, by the way, would you like to buy something for me? Like, I connect with people. If I don't think they're interested, or they haven't showed too much interest, they were just liking my post to be nice, I'll message them for a couple months before I even bring in the business or the products, just so they don't think that, and they think I'm legitimately being a friend to them, because they're more likely to join the business or buy products from you when you guys know more about each other on a personal level.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. All right, let's move to Katie. Thank you, Alchemy. I appreciate it so much. All right, Miss Katie Bevington, full circling to you, girl.
Hey.
Miss Queen of Lives as well. I mean, you were just all about it. I love watching your lives. So just what do you feel like everyone needs to know here? I mean, you are consistently, just like Alchemy is, you know, a top enroller. What do you feel like everyone needs to know?
I think everybody needs to know that you've got to find something that people want to hear about you. Like, not what you know, people want to hear about me. Like, you don't have the same life as me. You don't live the same life. You've got to find that thing that people want to hear from you. So every time you go live, you got to talk about something interesting. And what is it that people are going to want to follow you from? You know, I find a lot of people, like, you know, I follow Christina Watts, and I don't know if a lot of you guys know who she is. She's an ambassador. She's amazing. Her lives are so funny, and nobody can replicate what she does, but they always give me some good ideas. Like, just getting showing your personality on a live is so crucial, and just talking about stuff that's going on and making sure, like, I would say 1 in 3 to 4 of my videos are like related to the business. I try to go live about, you know, right now we just had a new patio put in, so that's a topic. But if we're out doing something, just showing people what my life is like, what am I doing, you know, just funny stuff that's going on that Cammie might have said or something. But really just being consistent with your lives, being so excited, and just showing people really, like, who are you? Like, why are you significant? Like, why should people pay attention to you? And just show them you. And I think the most important thing is, like Alchemy was saying, was like being really consistent and step by step through your day. Like, I would say on Facebook, I'm usually posting 4 to 5 times a day is my rule. And I like to share every few hours. Like, pretty much it kind of falls in line. If you're doing like 4 to 5, it's about every 2 to 3 hours. And that is the perfect potion for me, because that shows like when I'm getting up, kind of like it's going throughout your day. Usually that's when you're starting to change tasks, you're doing something different. Maybe you're at the grocery store, but the little things matter to people. And I think, like, kind of like Alchemy said too, with being positive, people can sense your mood. They can sense if you're faking it. They can sense if you're just like lying. So for me, like, honesty, integrity, being positive, doing that self-development so you can, you know, even through, like, when things don't go your way and life happens, you have got to be able to hold yourself up and be consistent with those posts and be excited. So doing that self-development, making sure your posts are radiating excitement, you're positive, like, you're just so ready for the day, even though sometimes you're not ready for the day. You have to make it so you are, so that you're ready for what the day brings for you. And really, I find, like, if I start slacking on that, my enrollments go down. And I can tell you every single time that, like, I feel like I'm doing it as a chore and, like, taking the fun, kind of like Keisha was saying, you take the fun out, then you start lacking enrollments. And if you don't wake up with the intention that I'm going to sign somebody and I'm going to help somebody with the product or help somebody with the business, you're not going to sign anybody up. Day in, day out, you have to find somebody and do the work, because if you're doing the work, you're going to find somebody and you're going to sign them up. And it's the days that you wake up and you're like, I'm going to post, I'm going to follow, I'm going to do this. And then, like, you go to bed and nothing happened because you didn't have a goal. You didn't have a mission for the day. You just went through the motions without actually caring. So making sure you do that. And the last tip that I really have, that honestly, it took me a while to be comfortable with this, was talking to people in public. And that was the hardest thing for me ever. Because I am really, like, you guys probably don't know this from my social media accounts, but I'm really kind of shy in person when it comes to people I don't know. So I started forcing myself. Like, it was really uncomfortable and really awkward for me, but I forced myself when I'm out just to talk to somebody. And if I'm wearing the clothes, the topic comes up. Like, it's just a natural thing. People want to read your shirts. And I was wearing my keto shirt the other day for the first time. I wore it to church. And on the way in, I didn't even get to drop Cammie in the kids center yet. And I already had a lady that was interested in the coffee. And guys, she became my customer, like, on the spot. She was like, this is amazing. I've been wanting some, I want to do keto. This coffee sounds incredible. Sign me up. And she's like, you're so passionate and so excited. boom, done. And every time I go to the grocery store wearing my clothes, and I'm just excited. I'm not, like, oh, you need to try it. I'm just talking about what is it doing? I mean, I was amped up. I just finished my keto coffee. This woman's probably like, whoa, like, I need some of that. She's excited. She just wants to hear, like, what is this? What is keto coffee? I told her about it, and boom, there we go. Customer. I go out to, I'm out all the time. I go out to the grocery store, wherever I'm going, I make it a point to contact one person. I have to talk to one person, whether it's somebody next to me or it's the cashier. I cannot leave the store without doing it. And the second that you hold yourself accountable to that, you're going to start seeing you're going to be, one, more comfortable with live videos, because I know a lot of people are scared of lives. And you have to get over that. And if you force yourself to have a combo with the cashier, which you're already kind of awkwardly standing there anyways, get over that. And the faster you can do that, the faster live videos are going to take off, the more confident you're going to become, and the more people you're going to start signing up.
Wow, love. Now, what do you feel like would be one of your follow-up tips? Because that's a huge question that keeps circulating, and I'd love to ask you that while we're here and have you.
Whenever I'm following up with somebody, I make it like the first follow-up, like let's just say like they said they were going to order on Friday, I make sure they know, like before we end the conversation of them telling me to message them on Friday, I say, hey girl, I said, all right, that's great. So you get paid on Friday. I'm going to message you at noon. Sound good? And they're going to say, yeah, that's great. So Friday at noon, you already have the in. That takes any awkward weirdness, like, hey, you ready to order, out of it. You need to go in Friday at noon confident. Hey, girl, I'm ready. Like, let's do this. And then they're like, okay, great. So if you go in with that positive, excited attitude, we're more likely to answer. But okay, say maybe something came up. They didn't have the money. Their check's lower than they thought, whatever. Maybe they ignore you. Or maybe, they're like, well, I just don't have the money. Either way, I'm like, okay, that's totally fine. I have to ask you something. Have you ever considered the business? And every single time, like I would say like 8 out of the 10 times, maybe even 9 out of 10 times, they're like, yeah, I just don't think I could do it. But if you don't have the product, I'm like, listen, you get 4 customers, you get $100 in product credit. And right now with the point system, I'm like, you get your 5th, and that's a $100 bonus right off the bat. So that's $200 in products that you can use. And they're like, oh my gosh, really? Boom. Then you have another potential distributor. So that's kind of like if they don't have the money, if they just straight up ignore me, I will message them one more time after the follow-up day. It's usually the day after. And I'll say, hey, I'm not sure, if you got my message. I just wanted to see if you were still interested in the blah, blah, blah. And if they don't answer that, then I completely drop the business, completely drop the products, and I talk to them about something random. I go on there, I comment on a few of their posts, and then I'm like waiting. I actually have like an ignore list of people who are ignoring me. And then I'll go and make sure I'm like going to their Facebook and building that relationship through comments. And then once they post something I feel I can message them about, I do. And I just say, talk about that. And then usually they'll bring it back up. And if they don't, that's okay. I give it, a little bit more time, and then I'll bring it back up. But I try to be really kind of like sensitive to that, because sometimes people get, they just get ashamed or scared to tell you I don't have the money or whatever the reason may be. But being a friend to them has been the most beneficial, because not only do they come back and tell you maybe in a month or so, 2 months, but they refer people to you.
Yeah.
So even if they change their mind, sometimes people don't want to be like, I changed my mind, but they will send people to you. I've had that happen several times.
Well, I learned a long time ago from a lady that teaches about vendor expos. She said people join you because they either know, they like, or they trust you. That's when they join you. So you're developing that relationship in the process. And that's something we think we all have to remember, is they join because they know, like, or trust you. So that's why you guys hear me say over and over and over again, be the rap girl or the rap guy that people think about when they're ready for It Works, or when they hear about it again, or when they see a post, or they see something somewhere, they see colors that remind them of it, whatever. Be the rap girl, the rap guy that they think about immediately, and they want to message you because of that trigger point, because you've been so consistent with them. And they're, like someone told me today, it's you that I see in my news feed. It's you that I see in my news feed. I'm like, exactly, exactly. So Katie, those are really awesome points, and I appreciate that so much.
Of course.
Awesome. I want to go to Jody. Jody is rocking it out right now, you guys, with switching customers to distributors. And I want you guys to know that there are so many tips that she has for you. And Jody, I'm really excited to hear about your month, because you had a great month and you guys are doing a lot right now to really build your business. So what tips do you have for everyone? Oh, you gotta unmute yourself. Where's Jody?
Okay, I got it.
Okay.
Sorry. I have always been very customer oriented, because at our center, we signed up so many customers that first year. And honestly, I was in, 2 or 3 years or more before I really got in the habit, when people wanted to try the products, of doing what Sarah Rankin always tells people is the first thing to ask them is, okay, that's great. Do you want to just try the products, or would you like to make money while you're trying the products? So I always try to plant that seed right away. And, sometimes they'll say, well, I don't know. I'll think about it if I have good results. A lot of times they do that. So then I want to make myself a note, after a couple months. I mean, I contact my customers every month, but after a couple months, to really say, hey, you're getting good results. You said you might be interested in the business type thing. But the people that signed in September, one girl had been a customer, I think, for about 5 or 6 months. And I had mentioned it to her several times, and she's very, very busy. And she's just like, oh, I love the products, but I just don't think I have time. And then I don't know, when the $500 bonus thing came along, I messaged her and I was like, girl, I just can't get you off my mind. You've lost so much weight using the products, and I just think you'd be great. And, she said, well, I just don't think I would have the time. And I'm like, how much time do you think it takes? And, I said, it's no different than recommending a restaurant to people, or just talking to people as you go, because her husband races race cars and stuff. And so, she's just like, well, maybe I should, and then another girl had been my customer. She's a family friend, and she reached out to me. I did like a summer slim down back in May or June. And she reached out to me and said, I think I'd like to use some of those products. And I'm like, great. Maybe you'd like to, also make some money. No, I wouldn't be interested in that, but I'd like to join your summer slim down. I didn't even know she was watching me, but she got on. I made everybody get on greens in the shake to be in the summer slim down. And so she got on it. She loved it. She started losing weight. She started feeling better. She had some health problems that just like went away within a week or two. And I knew that because every month I'm following up with her. And so I don't know why, but last month I just reached out to her again. I'm like, girl, you are getting such great results with these products. Why don't you come and be on my team? I think about you all the time when I think about people I want on my team. And I never dreamed she would say yes. I mean, she doesn't really need the money. But then she said, well, I could use the extra money because we're building our dream house. So people always, sorry, my phone's about to go dead. People always, have things going on you don't know about. And then another one that I got last month was interesting. It came from a customer. It was a lady that ordered hair, skin, and nails. And she said, can you talk to my daughter? She ordered this product too, but nobody's contacted her to talk to her about it. And I said, yeah, sure. I'll talk to your daughter, who's already somebody else's customer. And I was just trying to be nice. And so I contacted her daughter, and she's asking me all these questions. Oh, thank you, honey. Stan brought me a charger. And so I'm talking to her daughter, and she had signed up on the website just generically, and I've, obviously been, given to a VIP. And she goes, I think it's interesting that nobody's contacted me like you contact my mother. And I said, well, not everybody gives the best customer service. And so anyway, we just kept talking, and she really liked the products, and I just kept messaging her. And I said, well, hey, maybe when you finish your 3 months as a loyal customer, you might want to become a distributor. And, I didn't feel bad about that because the distributor that had her never even contacted her. And so she finished her 3 months, and it happened to be in September. And when the $500 thing came along, I messaged her, and I was like, girl, you got to do it now. If you're interested, let's do it now. And she has 4 babies, and she's a stay-at-home mom, and she has just been rocking it. And then the last person was just from social media, and it was a man. And all 4 of these people have gotten their 4 customers. That's what's been so exciting, because I signed up 17 distributors during the $9.99 promotion, and I don't think half of them got fast start qualified, and the rest of them, if they did get fast start qualified, I fast start qualified them. Placing customers, and it has just been so exciting to me that these people. I mean, that $500 bonus was awesome. That's why you got to keep that hundreds list, so that when things like that come up, you can just go down through that list and just say this one, this one, this one, this one, and send out those messages. And it's just been phenomenal to watch these people earn their $500 bonuses, and then one of them earned a $100 bonus and free products. But it's just been really exciting.
Oh, I feel love this conversation so much, because I feel like this is one place, Jody, that I know that you are so strong at. I mean, I know you are just diligent about following up with your customers, and you're so good at taking care of them. And as you know, as a leader in this, that sometimes this is a big missing link. And you're proving that it's valuable and it's worth it for all of us to take the time out of our month, out of our week, to follow up with our customers and really build those relationships with them, because they're just out there, like you said, just loving the product, but maybe not knowing that we have more, or not knowing how to use them appropriately, or not know, how to generate better results, because, or whatever it is. That follow-up is so crucial. And do you find that you're following up with them better through text anymore, or is it email or Facebook, or how are you developing that relationship? Because I feel like that's a kind of an open-ended question that I even get as a leader, is what's the best method?
It kind of depends. Like if we communicate a lot on Facebook, I'll use Facebook Messenger, but most of the time it's text. I text them, or I Facebook Messenger people. And ask them. But for years, I went through customers and followed up with them every month and never offered them the business. I don't know why. But now I try to mention it to them at least every 3 or 4 months, because I've got some long-term customers that still are not distributors. But about every 3 or 4 months, I'll say, I know I've asked you this before, but gosh, I just think you'd be awesome at this business. Are you sure you don't want to jump on board? And they'll just say, no, I'm just loving the products. And I'll say, well, I would really love the referrals. If you're not going to do it, I'm sure you have friends, who could use the wraps or who could use the Confianza. Would you mind sending me some referrals? And, so I'm just, even learning, even after all these years, to reach out more to my existing customers, and ask for referrals, and, continue to ask them, because things change for people. They may have just lost a job. I got a customer that became a distributor in June, and I had followed up with her for like a year and a half every month, and she had just lost her job the day I followed up with her in June, and she was just in tears. But we had developed a friendship, and so she's crying to me about losing her job. And she lost it because she's sick, and they finally terminated her. And I said, girl, I am so sorry about that, but you love these products. Why don't you just go ahead and just jump on this and do this home-based business? You're sick, you're at home all the time now anyway. This is something you could do through social media. And she did. She jumped right on, and she is one of my best distributors now. And I mean, she's undergoing chemo. I mean, she feels bad a lot, but she is consistent every day, and I'm so proud of her. And, it was just that follow-up every month, and I hit her at that time, and, she told me she'd lost her job, and I made a suggestion, and she was ready, and I had asked her several times before.
Yeah. Shauna's got a great question here. For some, just like you've been in the business for almost 8 years now, Shauna has customers that have been with her for 3+ 3 years and less. And she's got, we've got team members who are maybe no longer with us that have customers that need the TLC. And specifically for Shauna's question, she said, I probably know the answer, but what about old customers? I have hundreds and want to reach out to them even from, 3 years ago. When you decided to make that adjustment and start reaching out, did you reach out to past customers too and start building that relationship, or do you have a specific tip to help break that ice?
I'm not shy about that, but I've actually got probably 1,000 And I've got old boxes, and I need to, this has been one of my things. I'm like, when it comes stormy weather and I can't get out, or it's cold in the winter, I've got to reach out to those customers, because I've got hundreds and hundreds probably that are off of auto ship. I need to pull some kind of report, so that I can go back through them. I think the best time to do that is when you get a new product.
Yeah.
Is to go back through it, like even now I have gone back to some recently that I kind of keep in touch with on Facebook. And I've realized that a lot of my customers from when we first got in the business never tried berry greens. And, I'm like, oh my gosh, you know what? I think you like those greens, when all we had was orange. Now we have berry. Let me send you some. Or now we have chocolate. So I just use reasons like that to reach back out to them about products first. And like, the keto coffee or something like that, to say, hey, I know we hadn't touched base in a long time. And I'll just start out with, how are things in Martinsville, or how are things where you live? And, spend, I don't know, 10 minutes or a couple days catching up with them. And then say, something about, well, I know back when you were, ordering, you really liked this. Just wanted to let you know now we have this. And would you like for me to send you a new product brochure? And so I think that's a good way to reach out to those old customers, and we need to get together and do it.
We need to have a slumber party and do this, huh?
Oh my goodness. I need somebody that's real techie to help me figure out how to find them all, because I've thought about that so many times, and I'm blue, and so I'm kind of not organized. And it's kind of overwhelming to me to think about, how can I do that, because I have so many customers that I have to contact on a daily basis, because I have 3,000 plus personal volume every month, and I have done that for 5 or 6 years. So, that takes a lot of my time. Where I need to get my strengths back is following up with my prospects, because I spend so much time with my customers. I've been telling myself I need to start spending my initial time every day with my prospect list and then go to my customers, because I do it the other way around, and it takes up so much of my time. Sometimes I get sidetracked and I don't get to my prospects, which is what I need to be doing to continue to build my business. So
yeah, I'm listening and I'm thinking in my head, make the list, Shauna and anybody else that needs this, and pick a few a day, just like we do with our follow-up. We know we're not going to message 100 people every single day, right? We're going to really focus on building that relationship. So just break it down into segments and just start the process. And you're going to see, if you're reaching out to them on Facebook, you're going to see the algorithm, it working to your advantage, because now they're seeing your posts more and you're reaching out to them. So use it as a tool for follow-up too, and for you to kind of expand your network. I think that's a great tip.
Yeah.
Stan, I know you're still here, and I don't want to exclude you from this conversation, but I'd love to know if you have what tip you have for everybody here tonight as well, just on recruiting and what you feel like they need to know.
Well, one of the keys to this business is sticking with it and not quitting. One of the things that when Jody was talking, which gives us so much credibility right now, is people have been watching us for almost 8 years. And it's wonderful. I love when people come in and, I'm 6-month wonders, 12-month wonders. That's great stuff. I wish we could have done it. We're the tortoise, so to speak. We just keep trudging forward, and we're going to cross the finish line sooner or later if it's in a wheelchair, is the way I always say it. But, I think when people are going from this to that, one day you're promoting this, and one day you're in Avon, the next day you're in Mary Kay, or the next thing you're doing another skincare company. One of the keys to this business especially is longevity, and people seeing that we use the term lifer, and it works, that people know you're there. People don't have to wonder what Jody and I do. They're not wondering what business we're into next. Oh, here comes Stan and Jody. What are they into now? What are they selling at this point? So I think living the example and being persistent and consistent day in and day out, month after month, year after year, like with any business, is the key to building a long-term business. Because I think most of us, don't want to spend 2 or 3 years and then lose it all. We want to be long-term. We want to think of this thing, as a marathon as well as a sprint. We're going to sprint, and we're going to win a few scrimmages and a few battles, but we're in a bigger picture too. Got to look way down there. And I think when people see who you are and what you are, you're living it, you're posting it. It's like with us right now, we spend a lot of time with lifestyle posts, what we're doing, what we're accomplishing. And we find, when people are more attracted to that than a sales ad. And if you're just, throwing stuff out there every day, you get excited. We've done it. You puke all over people. You're posting product pictures all day, but people will turn you off because they're seeing commercials all day long. Ads are going up everywhere. They're seeing them, hearing it on the radio, on billboards. I mean, you can't sit down at a restaurant and not see other advertisements and stuff, like that. So we have found with us, posting the lifestyle pictures, the excitement, the fun, the adventure, and you're sticking those products in there as you do it, because they're what? They're part of your lifestyle. And that's what it is with us, people come to us now. I said, well, I need to get back on those greens. I used to use those and I felt so much better. And so to me, the key is living it, becoming the example of it, and giving people the confidence to know that, you're in it for the long haul. And if I can just give one tip to the men or the spouses of men out here tonight, most of the time when the women get in first, I got in first, and I had to drag Jody into this business, but it's usually the opposite. And so I got Jody into this, and and then she became the heartbeat of the business soon after we started building it big. But for men, they need to find their place, and men need to be men and need to feel like men, and instinctively they feel like they still need to be providers and protectors. And I think with the business, if you're a man building the business, tip number one is just build it like everybody else does. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to do something different because you're a man. The steps to success work the same for a man as it does for a woman. That's what I love about the company. And a lot of people, in the company early on said, we got to have men's panels. I said, no, let's quit men panels. Let's get men on the panels.
Yeah.
Rather than, like, oh, great, we got some men. So I just encourage men, get in the business and build it just like everybody else. Get your hundreds list, do your steps to success and build rubies. Do your steps to success, do your hundreds list, build rubies. And you're going to go right to the top of the company just like any other person is. But if the spouse has a man, you got to learn that, the goal shouldn't be to retire him so he can sit home and drink beer, and mow the grass. He needs to, if you retire him, if you're going to do that, then let him retire and leave him alone. Otherwise, don't have expectations unless y'all have talked about the expectations, and find out what his heartbeat is, what he likes to do, how he would like to participate in the business that would make him feel worthwhile. What he's doing is meaningful, but it also matches his personality, his skills, and everything else that he wants to do. Because if you bring him home and just think he's going to be your personal secretary and you start bossing him around, you're going to have some marriage problems, or he's going to get bored because men do need to be doing something. I'm not planning on retiring. People die pretty quick after they retire. So, I want to keep living myself, so I'm going to keep working. But let the men find their place, and if you do and they find that place, then they're going to be happy. They'll work. They'll be part of the team, and they won't feel like, they're just an employee or something like that, because that won't last very long. Believe me, girls, it will not last. If the man doesn't find his place, or don't let him quit his job. Let him stay at work, do his career, until you know everything is ready for him to come home and know the ramifications of doing that. But I just like to share that with the women and with the men, because this is starting to become a business where the men are increasing, and there's plenty of us out there that are doing it, know how to do it, and there's not just one set way to do it. The framework, and what I love about the business, Kay, is the framework's the same, the steps to success and the tools and the branding. Man, I wish we'd had this stuff, almost 8 years ago. I mean, we didn't have anything like we have today. We didn't have the Blitz card, when we got in, and didn't have Facebook. We didn't, we were belly to belly with the way we did our business, But that's what I love about the business, whether you're a man or a woman, the steps to success and the principles of the business work the same for everybody. And you ain't got to do it you just have to find out who you are and how to make the business work according to your personality as a man. And just one more thing, and don't be afraid to rap women. I've rapped women for 8 years. I'm not afraid to rap a woman, because if you're professional and you're not acting stupid and goofy, you can rap anybody. Women will let you rap them. It's not like they're getting, nude for you. You just tell them, pull their pants down just a little bit and their shirt up, rap them, and you'll find that women will let you rap them, and so don't be afraid to rap.
I love it. A consistent theme tonight, Stan, has just been find your voice in this.
Yes, absolutely.
Every single one of you have said that in such a brilliant way. Before we close out, Jody, your hand was up.
Well, I was just going to add one thing to that, talking about Stan and I, have totally different roles in the business, but I just wanted to encourage everybody to, keep building those friendships, and on Facebook, and you just don't know who's watching you, because when Stan and I went to my class reunion 2 weeks ago, one of my friends that Stan didn't even know came up to Stan and he said, I know you don't know me, but I know you, and I've been watching your journey for the past year, and I am so excited about what you and Jody are doing. And Stan was kind of blown away, because he didn't know who this guy was, but one of my friends from high school that I haven't seen in 20 years, and he's been watching our journey, so you never know who's watching. And, just keep putting it out there and being consistent and adding to your network and adding people on Facebook. That's just such an important thing, I think, on Facebook and Instagram, is just to keep adding people, so that you're getting a new audience and, building those relationships. I think social media is so different now than it was, 4 or 5 years ago. I think now we really do concentrate on building relationships, and I think that's where it's at before you start trying to sell things to people.
Well, and we know that helps build that long-term relationship as well, and takes it carries it further. So I absolutely agree with that. I want to, Keisha, I want to know if you have any one last quick tip before we close out tonight. Is there anything else you want to add to you've given us so much already, but I don't want to exclude you. I'm going to unmute you here.
I get my number one tip would be keep going and don't ever stop. That's absolutely. Yeah, just move, little girl. Just to keep going, keep doing what you're doing, and don't stop. Even when it gets hard, because we start the business and we go through our warm market, our friends and our close friends and our close family, and then we're like, now what? No, you keep going, you keep building friendships, you keep building, and as you do that, your business just continues to grow. So keep going and don't ever give up.
You're awesome. All right, you all are amazing. I'm so grateful for each one of you and for your hard work. I'm going to stop the recording, but before we all leave, I want to take a group shot so I can put it on social, okay?
Okay, wait a minute.